Dude, that looks sick. It ties in so nicely in here. And then there's my center stripe right there. Oh, I love that. That's what I did last time. I didn't make a video. I'm sorry. And then I've got the other center stripe right there. And then that ties in with the numbers right there. Boom, boom, boom. And then I ended up getting a new phone holder because of the fact that the other one was just way too close to me. So my hand just, I couldn't even get the phone. The phone was just so close to me when I was sitting in the seat. I could barely like touch the screen because my arm was all the way like extended back. And so I got this cool little contraption, I guess. It's got so many pivot points and adjustable sections and features, blah, blah, blah. So that is sick. The fact that like I can just manipulate it as much as possible. I didn't want to do the common pro clip one that people like clip on over here or whatever. I just didn't want to open up any panels or anything like that. So I think this one came out beautifully. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hard Park 703 channel. So it's another cloudy, rainy, stormy day. Sucks because every single Saturday it seems like it storms. And so at least this way, if I'm going to be stuck in the house, it gives me an opportunity to install some stuff. So we're going to install something on the C7. And then I'm also going to show you some other little, small little things that I did to the C7 to spruce it up, I guess you would say. Nothing too crazy or whatever, but I want to show you all this. This is going to be awesome. We are going to be focusing on the door sills. I ended up ordering up some door sill graphic overlays. And so that's going to go right on here along the darker gray color, I guess you would say, like the darker aluminum, I guess, the brushed aluminum as opposed to the more polished aluminum. But yeah, so you'll still see the Corvette lettering exposed and everything. And so it's just going to cover this right here. And it's going to match the interior a lot better. So yeah, so I cleaned them off already. I just used some detailer and everything. And then I had to use a lot of like gunk remover, right? To get like a whole bunch of like gross stuff on there. But yeah, so it's super clean and everything. It's ready to go. So check them out. They look pretty dope. So I ended up ordering some carbon fiber overlays, so then that way they'll flow nicely with the carbon fiber that I have inside the vehicle already, right? And so this one, for example, right, the top one, as you can see, it's just going to go right on top of there. So like that, right? So just got to peel them off and then stick them on, and we are going to use the wet method because now I absolutely love the wet method. Everything I said about the wet method previously about like, oh, I suck at it, I get more bubbles with the wet method than I do the dry method, turns out that was completely reversed. I'm really, really good at the wet method now, so I firmly believe in the wet method. Do not ever lay any stickers on without using the wet method. So just use your solution and everything, blah, blah, blah. You're going to see us heat it up and everything. We've been through this. So let's get to it. Like always, you're going to obviously want to clean the area that you're going to be working in. So, you know, you can use quick detailer or whatever the heck you want to use, but just make sure it's all clean and everything, dust free. Then we're going to need some heat. So definitely you're going to get your heat gun or blow dryer, whatever you want to use and stuff. So then that way you can make the graphics pliable and everything like that, right? Nice and flimsy. And then you're going to want to heat up the area that you're working in because it's going to help the graphics adhere better. And then you're obviously going to want to use your soapy solution because we are using the wet method. So yep, just I don't know, 1 or 2 drops of your liquid soap and then just mix it up with water, shake it up or whatever, and you are good to go. All right, this is not going to be an hour and 40-minute long video, I swear to you. So let's get to it. The way I'm thinking about doing this is we're going to lay down this one right here, the driver's side one, because it's in the garage. It just stopped raining. The sun is out. So now that everything is drying up on outside, I'm going to reverse the vehicle so then that way we can get to the passenger side, do the passenger side. Because all I was going to do is I was just going to film the driver's side and then that was going to be that. But I mean, the sun came out like, I swear to you, 5 minutes ago, it looked like death outside. And now the sun is just completely shining. So we're just going to reverse the car. And then that way I'll be able to do the passenger side and then we'll be able to just continue from there real quick. Heat up the graphic itself, just spray it down a little bit with your soapy solution and you should be good to go. All right, let's put it on. Be really, really careful with this thing. It's going to start trying to stick on each other, right? Like it's going to curl up and you're going to have to start separating the edges. So just be careful with all these center pieces right here, these little dangly pieces and stuff, because otherwise you're going to screw it up. So I had to heat it up and then start separating it because I had no idea that it was like crumpling in on itself. So yeah, I'm going to heat it up. I'm not going to heat this up because when you heat this up, it starts shrinking it up and whatnot, right? Like it starts shriveling it up. So just heat that. Don't worry about this. As long as this is warm enough or whatever, you can work with it. But yeah, so I'm going to heat this up a little bit more. And then just make sure you get your squeegee because you're going to definitely need to squeegee the crap out of all this. All right, so these fit pretty good. Okay, so I just laid them down. This edge is just a slightly exposed, but everything else lines up. It lines up perfectly right here. And then all the letters line up perfectly. So this is great. All right, I'm going to start squeegeeing this out. Definitely are going to need to let this dry because there's a lot of soapy solution under there, and I don't know if it's just like the aluminum or the type of graphic or whatnot, but it's not as adhering as quickly as past graphics that we've done on the, well, I guess on the C7, but also on the C8, as you've seen. There's a lot of solution still coming out, so like you just gotta take your time. You just gotta take your time and be careful. You don't want to move anything out of place, right? Because like the letters are all lined up and everything perfectly right now. So just be patient with it. You can heat it up a little bit more to try to evaporate the solution underneath, whatnot, and then just be careful right here around these letters, like the edges, like right here, like on this one right there, and then like especially right here on the R. You don't want there's so much solution under there that these things aren't like sticking well right now. So you just want to make sure you don't like move them out of place. You're gonna want them to stick where you want them to. So yeah, but it's coming out pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty good fit. I mean, look at it. Like that looks awesome. That looks really good so far. So all right, let me finish this up real quick, and then that way I'll is about as good as it's gonna get. So I was able to squeegee out a whole bunch more, right? So I mean, you're just gonna have to play with the angles here. You're gonna have to squeegee from every single direction and everything, right? Trying to get around all the letters and whatnot, all the little corners and stuff, and then afterwards, then just start squeegeeing out towards the edges, right? And then like up, right? And then down. And so yeah, you'll finally get it to adhere pretty well. This is probably going to take a while to cure, I guess, if that's the term that I would be using. It's probably going to take I don't know, probably like 48 hours or whatever. And luckily, I mean, it's going to be pretty hot, so it should heat up here in the garage, and so that'll be nice because that'll pull out all the other little bubbles and whatnot. But yeah, so check it out. So that looks awesome. That is such a great carbon fiber weave pattern, whatever you want to call it. I think it looks great. Wow. All right, that looks awesome. That looks so much better. Oh, that's so cool. That looks so awesome. Look at that. That looks so good. Now it ties in together nicely with the interior. So you got all of that carbon fiber exposed. That's awesome. Little touches of carbon fiber can really set your car apart, and just the whole presentation, you can just set it off. But you just got to pick and choose, right? And so this is it. No more carbon fiber on this vehicle at all. But I had these laying around for years, and I completely forgot all about them. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to install these. And so there we go. Man, the final result is just amazing. This looks so good. I am so happy the way it all came out. Came out. Jeez, I'm sorry. But yeah, awesome. Oh, I love it. All right. Well, the wind is insane out there, so I wasn't going to be able to do the work out there because of the fact that the door is probably going to be swinging, or it might slam shut, whatever, blah blah. And then obviously trying to work in the wind with trying to lay down a graphic. I mean, that's just a bad idea. And then pollen is everywhere and stuff. So just did my best. I parked at an angle. I mean, there's no room in here. Like, there we go. And then the wing is like up against the door, so that should give me enough room to at least open that door enough to try to work there. So yeah, that's the game plan. Sweet. The passenger side sucks to work with as always. Check this out. This is literally how much room I have to work with. It just touches right there. I have like my pinky can fit in between that, so great. So this is as far as I can open the door. And so, I mean, I'll just have to kind of work from this angle. And then luckily, I mean, I can still see that angle. So I'm probably going to need an extra light though. I'm going to put an extra light there so then I can see better. But what can you do? It's either that or it's way too windy. It's way too windy outside. So you got to make do.
The passenger sides was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Let me open the door real quick. I had no room to work with. Your body is contorted in such a horrible manner. But on the bright side, it actually came out looking, I think, better than the driver's side. So check it out.
All right, so I squeegeed out all the solution back there. And, I mean, I got it looking pretty solid. Very nicely spaced over here on this side. And then you trace the lettering. Everything is very, very nicely lined up. All the corners are lined up. And so, yeah, definitely less gaps than on the driver's side. Usually you obviously do a better job your second time around with graphics, right? Like when you have like 2 of them or whatever, right? Because you learn from your mistakes on the first one. But this isn't necessarily like learning from my mistakes on the first one. It's just, actually, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's exactly learning from my mistakes on the first one. Because when I was trying to line up one corner, right? Like if I was trying to line up this corner, it was tugging on this corner. And so instead of me starting from the middle and squeegeeing out both to the left and to the right, so like squeegeeing out in this direction and then squeegeeing out back in this direction, I could have lined up the letters a lot better. And so on the driver's side, there's just a little bit more gap. So like right here on the E, there's a slight gap right there, right where the edge is right here of the light that I'm kind of like pointing at with. You see right there where it rounds out at the bottom of the E. So there's just a slight gap, but I had more gaps on letters on the driver's side. So right here, that's the only gap I have, and everything else is lined up perfectly and identical to the driver's side. So yeah, so definitely very happy the way it came out with me not being able to work with a lot of room, but yeah, came out pretty good. And so obviously, like always, it matches like the carbon fiber on the door and everything. So that's, I'm so tired. Okay. All right, you guys get it. Let's move on.
While we're letting the passenger side dry, I might as well show you those other little tidbits that I did to the car, and then that way I'll wrap up the video afterwards.
So we just looked at the passenger side, right? So before I move on to the rest of the stuff, I just wanted to show you the difference. So remember the E? So the E, it's kind of like the same over here, right? So it's got a little bit of a gap, right? I'm gonna try to get it. You see, you can see just slight gap right there on the curve of the E, right? You see it? Okay, so that's the only one that was over there. But here I've got a slight gap. Where is it? Where was it? So it was on the, right here. Okay, so just a smidgen, just a slight gap right there on this side, right? And then right here, I've got a gap right there on that side, you see? You can see that gap. What I should have done was exactly what I did over there. Like I said, I should have squeegeed out from here, push the water out this way, and then also push the water out that way more, because then that way I could have lined this little portion right here better. I could have tugged on it just slightly, which is what I did on the passenger side, and it worked beautifully because it actually covered up this gap better. And then same thing right here. I would have been able to like tug on this, so then that way it would have just filled that in a little bit better. And the E probably would have stayed the same, but whatever. So considering it's such a small error, like a small marginal gap, whatever you want to call it. You get what I'm saying? Since it's so small and you can barely notice it, I'm pointing it out because I love transparency with you guys. But yeah, like from distance, like literally, you can't see that. You're not going to be able to see that. And especially with the sun beaming down, stuff like that, you're never, ever going to see it. You're going to see it only like if you got here and you analyze every single letter. So, but yeah, it still came out looking great. All right, moving on.
Doing this door sill and everything like that, I hadn't filmed the previous stuff that I had done to the C7. And I just made a Instagram post. And so I might as well show it in this video because I never made a video about it. It wasn't anything that I guess warranted or merited itself a video because it was real quick, but definitely makes everything pop. So check this out.
Like a few days ago, I had done the center stripe for the steering wheel, and then a center stripe along the shift knob. And so I had a whole bunch of this extra orange vinyl laying around, and I've still got a bajillion feet of it. So I was like, well, let's start having some fun with it or whatever. So I let's get in here. So I decided to put a center stripe on there, and it came out really nice. See? So pretty cool. And then right here, I think it looks exceptionally great because of the fact that it matches the orange numbers that are right there. So I think that's great. Now, transparency, right? Since I told you guys I love transparency. I put the orange stripe on here primarily because my sweat has completely like eroded, or whatever it is. The aluminum right here is no longer shiny up here. It's not shiny at all. That's because my sweat is just probably eating right through the metal. And so it started looking super dull and everything, and like faded, right? Completely faded. And so I figured at least I can mask it a little bit with a bright orange stripe. So then that way, I mean, at least it's not that noticeable. Now your eyes will be drawn to more black and orange, right? Instead of being like, oh, why is it so like faded and hazy up here or whatever, you know? So that's why I decided to do that. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have put a stripe there. But I like how the stripe did end up coming out with, like I said, those numbers right there. And then the stripe right here just looks great on the steering wheel. And then this all ties in together with the Jake skulls that I've got right there on the visors, and then obviously with the orange accents that I have on the outside, like for example the pinstripe that runs along both sides of the vehicle, and then with obviously the big orange stripes that are down the center. So that is one of the little tidbits, and now let me show you the other one. All right, so the other one is back here. Oh god, the sun, oh, I can't see anything. The other one is right here. Check out the license plate frame. That's awesome. Top Gun. And so I bought this one, as you guys know, and I was going to put this one on the C8, but I just didn't like the way it came out on the C8. And obviously I wasn't going to say that I wasn't going to throw away, because I do throw away a lot of things. But I wanted to put this to good use. I didn't want to just put this on, you know, just hold it forever and never put it on the vehicle. And so I just was like, you know what? This vehicle doesn't have a frame on there. Why don't I just put a frame on it? And so it ended up coming out pretty cool. So I think it looks better this way. Why? Because since it's got that, the saying, like a Top Gun saying, and it's obviously from Top Gun, at least it matches the wing better, right? Like this thing's got a massive wing, so everyone's always joking around, it's ready for takeoff and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. So of course, at least this way now, you know, kind of ties into the whole little theme. So that's awesome. I love it. It came out great. It's getting super dirty so fast though. Literally as soon as you accelerate, like this used to be bright white. Now there's just a layer of, you can even see the license plate. The license plate used to be white. So nothing can be done about that. Obviously, I'm going to wash the vehicle and stuff. But
all right, well, yeah, that was my spiel. And I need to get back in here because I'm about to sneeze big time. The pollen is nuts. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and move the car back into its usual position. I just sneezed uncontrollably off camera. So I'm going to try to move that car quick and then shut the door and everything. But yeah, so we installed the door sills. They came out great. The carbon fiber pattern on that was amazing. Jeez, oh my God, that thing is so strong. Okay. The door sills, awesome. Super happy the way the carbon fiber came out. Ties in beautifully with the rest of the carbon fiber and the weave and everything that's going on. Yeah, I always try to say the carbon fiber weave. You guys get what I'm saying? Like the carbon fiber pattern that is on those graphics matches beautifully with the carbon fiber pattern that I have on the vehicle already. All right, so boom, done. Moving on. All right, then you guys saw the little center stripe that I put, the top marker that I put on the steering wheel, and then on the shift knob. So I love how that came out. That ties in beautifully with the rest of like the orange accents that are on the vehicle and whatnot. And then the license plate frame. So obviously I didn't want it to go to waste. And since I love Top Gun so much, I was like, let's throw it on. So yeah, all right, everything. So yeah, I had a blast making the video. That's all. I love doing now, like decals and graphics and all that, because I'm getting really good at it. So I like keeping up my practice, and it's not like I'm going to keep ordering more. Is that a lie? Did I order more stuff? I did order more graphics. They are on the way. I'm trying to remember if it's for my office or if it's for the vehicles. Is it for the C8 or the C7? Whatever. Anyways, I ordered a whole bunch of like stickers and decals and graphics and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But it's because I have nothing else to spend my money on. So anyways, I did it. But yeah, so I'm really good now at squeegeeing out all the water and everything, getting all the bubbles out, using the heat and all that. I love it. I wish I could practice it more often if I had my own like graphic shop or something like that. But anyways, so everything came out beautifully. I hope you guys liked that video because I had, like I said, I had a blast doing it, except for the passenger side. The passenger side just sucks. The passenger side on this thing sucks so badly because of the fact that I just don't have room to work, and so you'd have to back it out. But anyways, there was like a friggin' hurricane outside, so that didn't work out today. So we had to make do. So anyways, all right, if you like that video, go ahead and click that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.